face it, we've been looking for a defense for quite a while. And coming into 2024, the Raiders could have a top 3, top 5 defense. We have Max Crosby, who was just voted top 10 out of 100 players in the NFL by other players. You just look at Max Crosby, you're going to miss a bigger picture here, because Christian Wilkins, Adam Butler, John Jenkins, and Malcolm Kuntz have absolutely been playing lights out football throughout the entire offseason. From OTAs to minicamp to camp, they are on fire. They are looking better than what they did last year. And the fact that we upgraded with Christian Wilkins just makes that defensive line even better. So I think the first thing as to why the Raiders are going to have a top 5 defense and possibly number 1 overall is simply because we have one of the best, if not the best, defensive line that can get after the quarterback. But they're not just pass rushing specialists. What makes this defensive line very special is all 4 starters are excellent against the run. So Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, John Jenkins, or Adam Butler, whoever's going to be that guy over there, and then Malcolm Kuntz, all are very good at stopping the run, which is another problem that the Raiders have had for more than 2 decades, is we were always terrible at stopping the run. It was just a given that the Raiders would give up well over 100 yards rushing each and every game, and this was very frustrating, and it set the Raiders up for failure. But not anymore. The Raiders could be excellent at stopping the run simply because all 4 of our defensive linemen, who are pass rushing specialists, are also really good against the run. So that's the first thing. The second thing that makes the Raiders so good on defense this year is that they're in the 3rd year of Patrick Graham's defense. And Patrick Graham's defense has shown as of late last year just how special it can be. Once McDaniels was gone and Antonio Pierce took over, who is a defensive-minded head coach, the Raiders defense started to come alive. In fact, they took it to a whole nother level in the last few games of the regular season. And that was not a fluke, because they've been doing the same thing all off season. Having that continuity, knowing the program, and having almost the entire same cast as of last year means that the Raiders defense is going to be able to fly around the field like their hair is on fire, because they know this defense like the back of their hands. They're not having to guess at their assignments. They know exactly what their assignment is, and they're able to attack the ball and able to attack the quarterback much more freely with that confidence coming into this season, being in the 3rd year of Patrick Graham's system. The third thing that we need to take a look at in regards to the Raiders defense is the secondary. Now, this was a question mark last year, and in fact, the secondary has been an issue for a very long time, but we were able to pick up a guy on waivers named Jack Jones, because apparently Bill Belichick has completely gone senile and forgot how to evaluate talent. This kid is absolutely going to be a superstar, mark my words, God willing, because I'm telling you, he has that it factor. He simply understands football at a different level, and he has the instincts and the twitch to get in front of the ball all the time and be disruptive. That doesn't mean he's the most athletic. He's not Deion Sanders fast, but when you are smart and you have great instincts, you can absolutely dominate in the NFL. He had 2 pick sixes that looked almost Michael Jordan picture-esque. It was beautiful, and I expect to see an awful lot more of that in his career with the Raiders. But wait, he's not the only thing that the Raiders can hang their hat on when it comes to the DBs. We got Nate Hobbs. Nate Hobbs is by far one of the best, I would say top 3 nickel corners in all of the NFL. and he is really difficult to deal with. He takes away those slot routes, and he's always there to help stop the run, and he can get after the quarterback on specialized plays designed just for him. So Nate Hobbs is a premier nickel corner. Jack Jones is a ball hawk, super instinctual player. And now we have a second-year guy who struggled last year, but has really improved according to all reports coming out of camp. He has been lighting it up, and that is Jacorian Bennett. Everybody was wanting us to go and draft that next corner because we were all worried that Jacorian Bennett wasn't going to be able to handle business. But in training camp, he has taken that leap in his career to prove to the coaching staff and hopefully Raider Nation as we get into the season that he is not a bust, that last year his struggles were simply related to A, him being a rookie, and B, him getting hurt. Now that he's fully healthy, second year in Patrick Graham's defense, he has been playing lights out football. So that's a really good sign that we have three corners that could be at an elite level in 2024. When you combine that with a massive pass rush against a quarterback who's going to be hurrying up to get rid of the ball, that's going to lead into a very beautiful stat, which is turnover battle. The Raiders could be top defense in turnover ratio and hopefully scoring defense yet again this year. So I'm really excited about that, but that's not all we got to talk about, because you also got to talk about our linebacking core. Robert Spillane came out of nowhere yet last year, and he really showed that given the opportunity and in the right defense, Robert Spillane is a premier linebacker in the NFL. And right now he's still cheap. Yes, we do absolutely need to make sure that we can re-sign him, but even when we re-sign him, it's not going to be a record-breaking deal, and that leaves more cap room for us to get other stars and re-sign other stars as well, like Malcolm Kuntz, who's going to need a new contract, right? So Robert Spillane is a beautiful addition to the Raiders and that linebacking core. And as Patrick Graham and him have both said, they are symbiotic. When the microphone goes off and Patrick Graham can no longer communicate with him once a certain part of the play has gotten to where the snap is going to happen, he takes over and he tries to think, what would Patrick Graham do? And he does that, and it's really good. Not to mention him, but Luke Masterson is also a pretty decent linebacker, and Divine Diablo, if healthy, is also a top-tier linebacker in the NFL. So the linebacking core is looking really good for the Raiders, and I'm simply super excited about it. But there's one more key, and this is the most important when it comes to the Raiders defense, and that is the safety position. The safety position is so overlooked and undervalued when people are talking about defenses. If all else fails, the linebackers, the linemen, the corners, who are you relying on to clean up a broken play? It's your safeties. And we have a tandem in Marcus Epps and Trayvon Moehrig that really did a great job last year. And I'm expecting that another year of those two together is going to spell success for the Raiders, because at the end of the day, if the quarterback is not being pressured, and even when he is being pressured, he's got to get off the ball. And if he's not getting off the ball where a corner has his guy locked down and there is some sliver of light, you better watch out, because Trayvon Moehrig and Marcus Epps will be right there, and they are ready to feast on interceptions, as well as lay people out when they catch the ball. Simply put, our depth of quality players across the defense is better than it has probably been since the 1980s, maybe ever. And that's why I'm super excited. If you're excited about it, drop a comment down below and just let me know. Defense.